Hello, I'm Chanel and today we are doing my March TBR. So I haven't done a TBR in quite a while, so I thought it might be a little fun to do one. So I'm going to pick 10 books, and the way that I am going to choose them is I am going to pull a card from my tarot deck. So these are the backs. This tarot deck is called the Journey Tarot. So I'm just going to pull 10 cards and then they all have associated prompts, and I'll choose a book for those prompts. Okay, so the first card out is the Queen of Air, and this is a book with a queendom or matriarchy in it. So my choice for this one is Queen of Roses. So the main character is named Morgan Pendragon. So I thought, oh, this has got to be an Arthurian Camelot book because that's Morgan Le Fay. However, this book is a doomed love, a dangerous mission, and a kingdom on the brink of war. And it seems to be a world that's filled with fae. And you've got Morgan, who is trying to do her duties, but comes to discover that her blood may contain a greater threat than anything her people have ever faced before. So I don't know a lot about it, but it had the word queen in the title, so obviously there's queen. The next card I pulled was the Nine of Air, and the prompt for this is mental health rep. So I have picked Eleanor Oliphant is completely fine, because the first sentence for this book is no one's ever told Eleanor that life should be better than fine. And it seems to be a story where she has social issues and is quite alone, and then meets some people who I'm guessing improve her life. Then we have the Queen of Water, otherwise known as the Queen of Cups, and this is a non-traditional love, so platonic or familial love. So for this book, I'm doing the Illuminations. So this is a middle grade book about a young girl who is part of a very famous family who are known for painting magical illuminations. But then a monster comes along and she has to figure out how to save everyone, so along with the help of her best friend. This seems to have familial love and also platonic friend love. And then we have the Three of Swords, or Three of Air, and this is a book that might make you cry. So for this one, I have chosen Worst Wingman Ever by Abby Jimenez, and that's because Abby Jimenez's love stories do tend to pull on my heartstrings and make me cry, so this might hit me in the feels, because it's also about a woman who is dealing with the impending death of her grandmother. And I lost my nana last year, and we were given 2 weeks notice that she was going to pass away. So it was coming, and I have a feeling like that's still very fresh for me because she literally passed away on Valentine's Day last year. So I have a feeling I'm going to get hit in the grief. Feels very, very bad. Probably definitely going to cry. So that is Worst Wingman Ever. The next card I pulled is Ace of Air, and this is a debut novel. So I will be reading Where the Dark Stands Still. This is the author's debut. I have not read this before. This is a YA gothic fantasy about a young woman who lives in the woods where there are monsters and unleashes her own magic, and then is caught by, I think, a demon warden of the wood who offers her a bargain for a wish. So it sounds very exciting, to be honest, and I might be picking that up sooner rather than later. Then we have the Six of Cups, and this is a nostalgic time of your life. The Six of Cups sometimes refers to your childhood or your past. So for this book, I am picking a book that I read previously, so many years ago. It was the first ebook I ever read. So this is the first book I got when I finally got an e-reader. So it's got a special place, and I want to say, do I still love it? So A Nameless Witch is a story of vengeance, true love, and cannibalism. That's right. So I believe this was a cannibalistic witch, and she's got like a ragtag team of found family friends, and I think there's a love interest in there. I remember it was quirky. I didn't want to read my review because I don't want to spoil myself for anything. So I don't remember a lot. I just remember liking it. I gave it 4 stars, so we'll see how that goes. And then we've got the Seven of Water. So for this one, it is a random number generator. So I picked a random number, and then whatever that correlated to on my want to reads list on Goodreads is what it was. And the pick for that was The Bone Hunters. So I believe this is a historical fiction. I think a scientist and a doctor team up to unravel the mysteries of the bones of an unidentified creature that they find. And it says, will it bring them greatness or destruction? And then we've got Queen of Earth. And for this one, it says either an unreliable narrator or a villain as the main character. And I am choosing to read Thrown in the Dark, which is part of a series called Villains and Virtues. So the main male character is a villain, not just a villain, he's the spawn of the demon king, and he's up to great mischief and mayhem and evil. And then a beautiful little lamb comes along, all innocence and naivety, and complicates things on his quest. So that's what I've chosen. And then the next card is Ace of Fire, and this is a new author or genre. So I've picked a new author I haven't read from before, and I've chosen The Rabbit Hole. So this is a thriller. They had mentions of Reddit on there. I believe a woman is trying to investigate the disappearance of her older sister. So we'll see how that goes. Then we have 10 of Fire. So this is a book with a character that's going through a lot. It has a lot of ordeals. And I have chosen A Fate Inked in Blood. So this is a Viking fantasy, and the main character is has an arranged forced marriage to an absolute a-hole, is then made to participate in a duel to the death, is then forced into another arranged marriage, and is chosen by the gods to have a big part to play in a giant battle and war. So this lady's going through it. She's having a lot of stuff happen to her. So that's why I've chosen A Fate Inked in Blood. So those are the 10 books that I hope to read this month. Until next time, stay well, Star Child.